I'm just saying, they both end after 5 years. I take Popovich. Obviously, for the career, I take Stevens.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, what about Rockets Jazz?
Ooh. I'm shocked.
I'm hoping.
I'm kind of shocked that
because
the Jazz
you had Rockets in 5.
I know, but here's the problem. I love the way how the Jazz are playing. They are playing with the fire underneath them. They're actually a lot of fun to watch.
Dominic, by the way, Donovan Mitchell jerseys are available on NBA.com.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? In size large?
Positive. 100%.
All right, good.
You're willing to spend that much money?
When you mentioned
I want a Donovan Mitchell jersey.
When you mentioned it, I looked it up. I was actually fascinated by this.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't find it.
See,
I couldn't find it. No, but thank you. But no, I don't know what it is about the Jazz right now, but the way they're playing, it's just like, again, it's like they have, it's just like...
Quinn Snyder's another good coach.
Yes, he is.
I can't even, describe what they're doing. It's just like, I think just the way Rubio stepped up his play, and especially, you just saw it, how ticked off Westbrook got between the whole series. And, I love that from a team that obviously that's getting the advantage, not from Westbrook. But, it's just like this team is doing something that you would not expect. And Donovan Mitchell is just, it's crazy that this was a steal of the draft. And now
13th overall pick, I think.
Yep, and now
could have been a Nick. Okay.
Picked one pick after the Pistons picked Luke Kennard out of Duke. Imagine how much Stan Van Gundy is kicking himself over that.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You can never count on how players will transition to the NBA, but Donovan Mitchell is just an amazing talent to watch. He really is.
And you got Gobert there too. I mean,
what about Joe Ingles?
Can you imagine
Joe Ingles too?
Can you imagine if they still had Hayward?
Oh my goodness!
Ingles reminds me of a more productive Steve Novak.
You know what? If they had, if they had Gordon Hayward, they're not as good as they are now.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't think so.
Because Ingles and Mitchell are thriving now with not a ball hog, with someone who thrives when he's the star, someone who thrives with the ball in his hand. I feel like that's just a bad marriage there between Ingles, Mitchell, and Hayward, to be honest with you. What about Warriors, Pelicans?
This series is over. This series is over.
It makes me upset though, because Anthony Davis is a monster, and I just wish.
But it's just that bad juju. Like Steph Curry comes back, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
I still say that the Pelicans have a game. I will say that the
Gentleman's
Pelicans
sweep.
They will steal a game at home. Yeah, I had never heard that term before until Tuesday. Yeah,
really,
and my dad too. My dad, I had never heard that term before, but I am going to start using it.
You're welcome.
I will admit that. Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
So the Suns hired Igor Kukaskov, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, as their head coach. Man, I could have said something that sounds similar to that would get me kicked off the air, but I'm glad I didn't. Before this, he was an assistant coach for the Jazz since 2015. What are your thoughts on the hire? Personally, I like it. I think this is a new era for the NBA in terms of diversity. Eric, you had brought up that the Knicks now have the first president, GM, and head coach trio in NBA history where they're all African American.
Yes.
Igor Kukaskov is the first non-North American born head coach in NBA history.
If the talent's there, you take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a guy who's going to have a lot of more insight into European players, guys coming out of places like Latvia, like Porzingis, so it's a good thing for them. I really think he'll be more involved in the scouting process than most, and I think that's important. I think it's a good thing.
And the Suns do have some European players like Dragan Bender out of Croatia, so obviously the team revolves around Devin Booker, but I do think that Kukaskov is going to be a good head coach. You're listening to Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We are live twice a week. No, Nick, you can stay there. We have an extra microphone.
Oh my goodness, we do. I keep forgetting. This is a whole new, for the listeners, this is a whole new world we're in.
See that? That's
we have money to spend.
I was just about to say, that's what your donations gave us.
Thank you for all the money.
Hold on, wait a minute.
You gotta do it twice just to make sure they heard?
Yes, exactly. We're live twice a week, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 3 p.m. I am Jacob Valk, sitting across from me, Dominic Arbolino, Eric Fischetti, Nick Orenberger, and the true hockey maven tells that other guy can't say that enough, Eleanor Chompy. Number to call if you have something on your mind is 516-572 877-440. So, we are in the midst of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. With that in mind, I'll go through each series, and we'll give our thoughts on them. Sound good, guys?
Let's do it.
Woo! Was that Nick or Eleanor?
It was him.
Oh, okay.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Yeah, right.
Come on, we can't have 2 weeks in a row where we get that fire out of Eleanor. Only once for now. Remember last week?
That was horrifying.
I know.
I was cowering in fear, like...
I was sweating.
Hold me, mommy. What about Lightning Bruins? The only series in the second round right now that is not knotted up at 2 games apiece.
So, to be completely honest with you, this is probably the series that I'm least interested in.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both good teams. You're going to get a good series. I don't know. I'm not, like, super interested, but it's been a good series. Brad Marchand and Jake DeBrusk are game-time decisions tonight, so that could definitely be an advantage for Tampa Bay if they don't play.
Yeah.
And special teams, again, are coming into the series, and the Bruins have only had 2 power plays in the whole series, and Tampa Bay has had 12, so discipline comes into it, and if the Bruins aren't on the power play, then they're not going to score, and that's what you see.
You think Bruce Cassidy's a good head coach?
I do think he's a good head coach. I just don't... I don't know.
The reason I'm asking is because I saw him as a finalist for the Jack Adams Award, and I did a double take. Like, really?
Yeah.
He's a finalist?
Yeah.
It was Cassidy, Gallant, and someone else who I can't remember.
Well, Gerard Gallant should win.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Oh, no question about that.
I think that you can be a good regular season coach and a bad playoff coach, and we see that all the time. And I think that might be what we have with Bruce Cassidy.
That's fair. That's very, very fair. What about your series, Eleanor? Caps Penguins.
It's so stressful.
I was going to say, I texted you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to like break out in hives or something. Like, it's so stressful.
You're going to start fighting people. You're going to drive to Tom Wilson's house.
Oh my!
Don't even get me started.
That was
okay?
a borderline hit.
Stop it right now.
There we go.
That was borderline.
It's not borderline.
Sure, it was. He had his head up.
Oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Reese had his head up. It was by the board, so it looked worse than it was.
No.
And slow motion.
It's not about the head up or the head down.
He
That's
was
not
laughing
the point.
at the end.
No, if you... The argument that it was a shoulder-to-shoulder hit isn't even an argument, because you don't break your jaw bad enough to need surgery and get a concussion from a shoulder-to-shoulder hit.
It was not shoulder-to-shoulder.
It was not shoulder-to-shoulder, and Jeremy Roenick tweeted that his shoulder just slipped up to the head. Yeah, because that happens. Like, honestly, 3-game suspension was perfect. Tom Wilson is a trash player that should not even be a hockey player.
It's true.
Oh
no,
my
that's
God,
true.
that's
he's
true.
Honestly, it's not like he has like the stats or anything to help him out there.
He's a goon.
And Vichnowski's career.
No, I agree with you. He's a goon. I don't like Tom Wilson.
I mean, Wisnowski's on his way out anyways.
Tom Wilson should have been suspended for the hit on Alexander Wenberg in the series against Columbus and the hit on Brian Dumoulin in Game 3.
I'm not saying Tom Wilson isn't a dirty player. What I'm saying is that hit wasn't horrible. I didn't think it warranted 3 games. I know why it got 3 games, because Wilson's a dirty player.
And
the NHL is making up for the Wenberg hit.
Right, and the Dumoulin hit. And look, I'm not a dramatic person about hits. Like, I think physical play obviously is a very big part in the game, but I don't like dirty hits, and that was a dirty hit. Anyway,
I didn't think it was horrible. It was borderline.
It was, but the injury was so bad. Like, he needs surgery for a broken jaw.
I feel bad for Aston Reese. I feel really bad for Aston Reese.
I'm just getting, upset. All right.
Okay. All right.
But Matt Murray has been absolutely horrible in this series. 10 of the 11 goals that the Capitals have scored in this series have gone glove side on Matt Murray. It is embarrassing. It really is, because now they know where to shoot, and they're shooting, and every single one that they shoot is going in.
He's being outplayed by Holtby, who's an inferior playoff goalie.
And I do think, though, that the Penguins' defense has been a lot better this series than they were against the Flyers.
I agree with.
Jake Gensel and Sidney Crosby's line is just dominating.
Yeah, Jake Gensel looks like the second coming of Mario Lemieux.
Yeah. He's a different player in the playoffs. He really is.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I like that shirt that you have, I will admit.
I'm going to be honest, whoever the outcome is of the Eastern Conference Championship, like the champions, I really just don't want the Eastern Conference to win.
Really?
I don't. Like,
Okay.
no matter what, I'm rooting for the Western Conference, whoever it is. If I had to choose a team, because I feel like the Eastern Conference teams, like, no offense to Eleanor, obviously, I don't like the Penguins.
You don't want to see the Penguins 3-peat.
No, but then also the Capitals, just like, the Capitals.
I would
they
kind
never
of like the Capitals to win one for Ovechkin.
I wouldn't. This is too much fun to watch them blow it every year.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's like the Cubs, right?
I feel like the only people,
Exactly.
the only team that I
always
want to
next
see win the cup in terms of the Eastern side is the Lightning. I have nothing against the Lightning.
Not the Bruins?
The Bruins.
I do.
Yeah, I don't like the Bruins.
Really? An original 6 team? You don't want to see them win?
They're not likable at all. I feel like the Bruins. They're just not likable. The fans aren't likable.
Is that
It's also
Marchand, or is that the
Boston.
whole
Do you want to
team?
get
I think it's the
Boston
whole-
another?
I have nothing against the Bruins.
Well, I
I
don't
have something
hate.
to get Boston though.
Okay. I know what you're saying.
I don't hate Brad Marchand. I think with Brad Marchand, the type of player that he is, he does it very well.
That is true.
He does.
Yes.
Yeah, he licks people
Yeah,
very well.
And Zdeno Chara, I've always liked. I will admit
Yeah,
that.
he's-
Former Islander. What about Predators Jets?
It's so much fun to watch. It's so fun.
Did you see the save that Rene got?
Yeah.
All right, he got lucky with that
course
though,
it's
but
lucky.
still, that was like unbelievable. The bottom of the stick, he saves it, and then also the goal, the overtime. One, I have to say this right now since we're talking about it, and obviously I can't say it sooner because I'm not on Tuesday's show. But every hockey game I've been watching has gone into double OT, and I have things to do in the morning, and I don't understand
Don't
what.
do the morning show.
No, it wasn't last. It wasn't last night. It wasn't. I went to bed. Yeah, I didn't watch
Okay.
the one last night. But
All right.
every game I've been watching, whether it's that series or another series, it's always gone into double overtime. And
You
I don't
get
know
to see
what
good
it is.
games.
All right, fair.
That's
but,
why I only took online classes this semester.
But the game, the game Sunday night in Nashville. I forgot who scored the goal.
Sunday night.
Fiala?
I'll check.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
On Nashville.
Yeah.
Like that was just a beautiful goal,
But-
and the Hellebuck can't stop that.
What I think the series is the most even series. I think that they've both outplayed each other throughout all the games. Pekka Rinne and Connor Hellebuck have been good. They haven't been great. I mean, you saw that with some of the
Hellebuck
scores.
has been kind of slipping.
Yeah, and so has Pekka Rinne.
Pekka Rinne's been worse, though, I'd say. I think Hellebuck has the advantage, though.
Yeah, and it's disappointing because I think Nashville has the best defense in the entire National Hockey League. And they haven't been great. PK Subban hasn't been good. Ryan Ellis is invisible.
Yeah.
And I think that's
where you
got
to take advantage.
Yeah, and you look at last night, Kevin Fiala was scratched for Scott Hartnell, and I think it helped because Scott Hartnell is a physical player.
Yeah.
And you need to play Winnipeg physical.
I wouldn't have scratched Fiala for Hartnell, but I do know why they did it.
Yeah.
Winnipeg had the chance to close it, I would say, last night, where you're up 3-1 and you're going into Nashville. I think, maybe even if Nashville was given that game, I think you would be able to finish it off back in Winnipeg. But now, I mean, I think this is a very interesting series, like Eleanor said.
Yeah.
I think this is the most entertaining, and I think, honestly, watching, I just like Winnipeg's offense is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it
look,
is.
it's
and
crazy.
all four lines are so good.
Adding Stastny was big for them.
Yes,
Yeah, and
that was a
last
big
night.
move.
Last night was the first time Winnipeg lost at home since February.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Nashville
That blows my
Nashville
mind.
did what they needed to do. They split in Winnipeg.
And the fans too. I mean, I feel like honestly,
They are great
I love the
fans.
whiteout.
honestly, I feel like fans, fans do have a purpose. They really do. Depending on, like if you're there and you're just like they're all just casually watching. It's just like I feel like it doesn't add to the game.
Where's the home ice
Depends on the
advantage?
sport,
Yeah.
though. Depends on the sport.
That's true.
Even the
Baseball, you don't see that obviously.
even
because-
Football
though-
in the NFL, you don't see that, really.
Even though the MTS Center is the smallest arena in all of hockey, the Winnipeg fans are fantastic fans.
Yep.
What about the most surprising series of the four, Vegas, San Jose?
This has been interesting too. It's been fun to watch.
I'm stunned.
May
I
I
thought
get a
Vegas was-
reminder what the series is? Excuse me, is 2-2?
It's
yes,
2-2.
2-2.
Okay, good.
I thought honestly that this was going to be between Marc-Andre Fleury and Martin Jones, and neither of them have been that great.
No,
honestly,
they really haven't.
They really haven't.
I said it sweep, but that was more to be bold. I could have seen San Jose taking a game.
I said
but
Vegas in 6.
I think I said either 6 or 7. I'm not sure.
I'm just stunned how much San Jose is outplaying Vegas. in
What
this
San
series.
Jose did in the last game was they beat Vegas at their own game, which is speed. That's exactly what they did, and that's why they won.
But listen, regardless of what happens in this series, Vegas has an incredibly bright future. Although I want to bring up something that I heard Chris Russo say on Wednesday. Do you think that this is good for the NHL that Vegas is so successful early on? Because when Vegas regresses, and they will regress, we don't know when, but they will inevitably, will the fans show up?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. The Golden Knights are a beacon for all sports to begin moving into Vegas, for the Raiders, in the NFL, for other franchises to start thinking about putting their teams in Vegas. So regardless whether or not they regress, and I'm sure they will. You're right. Whether it be in 2 years,
they're not going to make the playoffs every single year.
No, they're not.
Right.
But this is a huge stepping off point, and you got to keep in mind it's not only good for the city. Vegas has a huge population. They really do. They have a good amount of people there who will go and see games because they don't have anything to watch except for the Mets Vegas team. Are you kidding me?